Hey everyone, welcome back to another action figure review, Masters of the Universe edition. And today we're going to be looking at the Orko and Gwildor 2-pack from Masterverse Revolution, based on the recently released Netflix series of the same name, created by Kevin Smith. And it's weird, this is only the second Masterverse figure that I've reviewed on my channel so far. The first one being Slushhead. So I've not done a He-Man or a Skeletor yet, or any of the main characters. Although Orko certainly counts as a main character. He's been around since the beginning. But Gwildor didn't show up until the live-action movie, and I haven't done any of the other major characters, which is kind of weird. I mean, I'll get to them eventually. I'm going through. They're more of a blast from the past type video, whereas this figure right here just came out, so I'm trying to put a review up for it now, so for people who are deciding whether or not they want it. And so once I'm done with all the G.I. Joe blast from the past, then yeah, we'll probably do another poll on my community tab to see which figure line my subscribers want to see me do Blast from the Past from next. Could be Black Series, Marvel Legends, or Masterverse, or something else. So we'll see how that goes. But in any case, I just received this like a week and a half ago, maybe. And actually today I got in Man-at-Arms, Trapjaw, and Skeletor figure, so I'll also be reviewing those within the coming weeks. So you can look forward to that as well. But today we're going to be looking at Orko and Gwildor. If you haven't seen Revelation, this is kind of a spoiler. So, but I mean, you've had plenty of time to see it by now, so you don't have anyone to blame but yourself if you haven't already seen it. I'm going to try not to spoil anything for Revolution. I won't talk about the show much. I'll just talk about the characters. But in Revelation, Orko at one point does appear to die. And he's in his normal red uniform in Revelation. But when he returns, he's in this white outfit. And he's much stronger as a magician than he was previously. Like, he was mostly a jester before, kind of like a joke. But once he comes back, now he's far more powerful and capable. So that's the version that we get in the Revolution storyline arc. And the only thing I will say about Gwildor's appearance in Revolution is he kind of hints in his conversations with Man-at-Arms in that cartoon. He kind of hints that the events of the live-action movie actually occurred within this timeline. So I thought that was kind of cool, because he brings up something. I've seen it once, but it's not like seared into my mind. I can't remember exactly what he says, but he does kind of insinuate that the live-action movie actually did take place within their universe, which I thought was kind of cool. So other than that, I won't mention anything else about Revolution. I encourage you to see it. I know Kevin Smith got a lot of hate over Revelation because of the bait and switch, making you think it was a He-Man show, and it ended up being the Teela show instead. And I understand. I kind of felt the same way, because I'm not a huge... I like Teela, but not as a main character. And I thought her portrayal in that cartoon was terrible. I did like Evelyn, though. I thought Evelyn was great. And, so yeah, I understand a lot of the hate that Kevin Smith got over that. A lot of the backlash. Revolution, in my opinion, is a superior show. So I would definitely check that one out. I'm looking forward to the third season. Or actually, I'm looking forward to part 2 of Revolution, because I think they're going to do the same thing they did with Revelation, is release the first 5 episodes and then release the second 5 episodes later. I think they're going to do that with Revolution as well. So we've seen 5 episodes. We got 5 more to go. And so far, so good with Revolution. Right. So that's it. That's all I'm going to say about the show. Okay. Looking at the box. Now, if you saw the Slush Head review, you notice that this looks like a different box. And that's not because it's a different branding. It's not because this is Revolution branding. Mattel actually redid their box design. They kind of lessened the window, basically. See, the original design had a big, wide open window here, as well as the plastic tray inside. So they shrunk that window by probably 50%, maybe. And everything else is still this. Well, most everything else, they did shrink the plastic tray inside as well. And they put some of the, here, let me just, actually I opened these from the bottom, not from the top. Forget it. On the side here, and this side right here that you can't see, covered by the artwork, there is a cardboard box attached to the cardboard that's wrapped around the tray. And that box has some of the accessories in it. But some of the accessories were also in the tray itself, as well as the figures. So they didn't go completely plastic free, but they did reduce their plastic, which is the way Hasbro probably should have done it. Because at least you can still see the figures in this packaging, right? So that makes it at least a little better in that regards. But one of the big drawbacks about the way they did this now, because you can't see everything, they have to show you everything you get on the back, which means all that fantastic artwork that used to be all on the back is gone, which is a shame. You still get the artwork, but it's minimal compared to what it used to be. Like I said, it used to take up the entire back panel with just all artwork. Now it's diorama shots showing you the accessories, like the ones you can't see, basically. But you still get the artwork here, and you get some artwork here. So it's nice. It's fantastic artwork. I don't know who the artist is, but I believe it's the same guy who's been doing all the Mattel's Masterverse art, and he's really, really good. I've enjoyed looking at all the artwork that he's done throughout the line. And when I start doing these and blasting from the past, I will show you all the various artworks across the figures that I have, because it's really fantastic artwork. Probably the best in the business right now, in my opinion. But yeah, we got Gwildor and Orko, Master of the Universe Revolution, Masterverse at the top here, as well as Netflix series, 30 points of articulation, 6+. It's interesting that these are listed as 6+ and G.I. Joe is 4+. Like, you would think G.I. Joe being more of a kind of a serious, more military line, as opposed to this, which is like a sci-fi fantasy. You'd think G.I. Joe would be higher age range, but nope. This is 6+. G.I. Joe is 4+. So go figure. See, on the bottom you got the legalese. I already showed the artwork on the side, and then here's the back, the diorama shots. Here you got the two figures and all their accessories. You can see the stand, the cloak piece, the magic rings, Gwildor's staff, the cosmic key, the power sword, and Orko's spell effects. And then you've got a little blurb about both of them. Gwildor, heroic creator of the cosmic key. Orko, heroic court magician, sorry, not musician. And then you have the other figures in this particular wave. And like I said, I just got him, and him in. So I'll be doing their reviews in the next couple weeks. Haven't gotten Tila, Sorceress Tila in yet, though. And then there's a little blurb, and you can read it there. there's not really much of a spoiler there. But if you don't want to get spoiled at all about Revolution, then don't read it. So we'll take a look at Orko first, since he's already been released at one point. This figure I don't think is any different. He's just different color now. I think he's exactly the same as the one that came out before. He does have a few different accessories, though, so we'll go over that when we get to that point. But Orko does not have... Well, I left him on the stand because that's the best way to stand him. I mean, you could pop that out and just stand him on the robe. It would look kind of weird, but you can do that. So he comes with this clear plastic stand, which is cool. I like it when figures come with stands, and you can move it around into different positions and like that. And you can spin it around. You can have him go sideways, and it fits in his in a little ball in the socket there, and you can kind of turn that around as well. So if you want to have him look like he's flying kind of thing. I'm going to turn it around this way. So yeah, it's nice that they give him that stand to come with. Orko doesn't have a lot of articulation because, you know, he's got no legs. And as you can see, there's not anything in there. It's just hollow. It's just like a traffic cone of plastic right here. But he does come with this like scarf piece here. It's got a nice little... One thing about the Masterverse line compared to the Classified is the paint apps are really nice. Classified doesn't seem to go as far with their paint apps sometimes. Like they'll leave pouches and belt buckles and whatnot unpainted. Masterverse seems to go further with that, in my opinion. So, and you can see his head under there. He's got the hat, the blue ears poking out. Nice white hat. And then the whole white robe. It's got the gold color on the interior. But it's weird because they painted the inside of the sleeve, but they didn't paint the inside of here. I would have thought they would have painted that gold, since they're kind of hinting that the inside of the robe is gold, the outside is white, and the interior is gold. But nope, they didn't paint they did paint the inside of the sleeves, but not the inside of that. I guess they're not expecting people to display him like this. Well, going over articulation, he doesn't really have a lot, like I said. He's got some head articulation, as you can see. You can push the hat over so you can't even see his eyes. And you can turn it again so you can't see his eyes. And he can do the Exorcist. He does have that much articulation in the head. The ears are just rubbery plastic, which looks like they're glued right into the hat, or they don't move at all or anything like that. His arms can go all the way around, and you can hinge them up about that far. They're on a ball. Looks like they're on a peg, kind of like the wrists of other figures. The arms are pegged into the shoulder. And you can move the ball around and get different looks out of them. Okay, give him a what, who, me kind of look. And you can peg them forward. So even though he doesn't have a... Of course, that looks weird because now his sleeves are pointing straight out instead of hanging down like they would be if they were real claw. So let's turn that around. And then his arms at the wrist or at the elbow here have a hinge that can go up and down like that. And you can turn them. You can turn them all the way around. They can go 360 degrees around like that. And that's the same on both. He doesn't have any extra hands. He doesn't have any wrist articulation. So that's it for Orko. He's got the head articulation and the shoulder and elbow articulation. That's all he has. Accessories wise, he comes with this, which is like a magic ring effect kind of deal. And that can snap into place on the base. So, let's see, best way to do this. Move Orko out of the way. You can just basically thread that into there. You can move Orko around on the inside of it. And then it looks like he's in a magic sphere, casting magic. He also comes with this, which is an extra piece of cloth to go attached to his scarf. And I probably should have done the magic ring last. Live and learn. And you can see that peg hole on the back, on his back there. So this just snaps over there, and now you got a little extra, little wavy train there in the back of his. It's supposed to be the back piece of this little scarf thing, comes down and flaps around like that. And then he also comes with these, which are spell effects that you can stick on his hands. And they open like that, so you can close them up around his wrists. Yeah, there we go. Let's get this back on. Yeah. And there you have Orko in his casting circle, getting ready to blast someone with spells. So, now to take a look at Gwildor, which is probably the figure that people are looking forward to most from this set, just because he hasn't been done before in Masterverse, and Orko has. Although Gwildor was... They did a figure of Gwildor for the Classics line, I believe, right? I don't know, because I didn't collect Classics, but I think they did a figure for Gwildor in the Classic line. And as you can see, Gwildor's got his pointy ears. He's got that bright red hair and beard. He's got this multicolored cloak here, jacket, and covering his kind of robe tunic. He's got the shoulder pads on the top here. This blue and red robe with gold trim. He's got this blue on the back of his hand, part of his robe there. The jacket's got a nice gold trim there with little gold clasps on either side. You can't close it together, obviously. He's also got that blue overcoat on top of his kind of lime green or something tunic. I don't know. And it's got those gold clasps there, the brown painted belt with a gold rope and attached to a silver key and some more gold there. Again, Masterverse goes well beyond with their paint apps, almost like NECA. and far cry from what Hasbro does with G.I. Joe, unfortunately. And then, of course, on the bottom, he's got the brown pants and these brown boots with like a red stripe across the top there. And underneath the tunic and robe, he's got more brown pants, obviously. So decent looking Gwildor figure. Articulation wise, he can look down about that far, and he can look up about that far. Now the hair is kind of a soft, like rubbery plastic. It's not that hard compared to like the arms. So you get some good, you can move it out of the way pretty well. You can also pop his head and remove the shoulder piece if you want, just to give him a different look, so to speak. This looks pretty much the same forward and back. So you can't go wrong whichever way you decide to put it back on. His ears also move, unlike Orko's. They only rotate, though. You can't, like, they don't go up and down. They just rotate in place. Let's see. His arms can go all the way around. The shoulder pad does get out of the way. And you can hinge him up about 90 degrees. Pretty good T-pose. He has a single joint at the elbow, which you can get a little bit out of, and it can swivel in and out. His wrist has a horizontal hinge on both sides. He does surprisingly have some torso articulation. These pieces are separate, as you can see. It's not like one whole piece of plastic overlay. So he can get some twist there. And he can... he can't really get any like forward or back movement out of it. Just the twisting. So you're not going to get too much out of there. His legs... See, mine are really freaking loose. Like, not as loose as the ab crunch on the Firefly figure I reviewed, but they're still pretty damn loose. I mean, look at that. If you can move his legs just by slapping them like that, they're too loose. You should have to really not push him too hard. Like this takes a while. Like I can't hit that with my hand and really move it. But this, back and forth, it's kind of loose. Kind of disappointed with how loose it is. So he can spread out about that far. You're not going to get too much further because of the traffic cone of the robe here. And forward, you're not going to get too much either because of, again, the traffic coning. You can go back about that far. He does have a knee joint in there. You can bend it about that far. You can't get much further because of the robe. And then, of course, it spins at the knee joint. That's the problem. The knee joints are really loose. And then his foot can go back about that far. It can go forward about that far. And it can rock. And it's got peg holes on the bottom. And I just noticed that his feet are on the wrong side. See how it curves inwards like that? I think this is supposed to be his right foot, and this is supposed to be his left foot. They're on the wrong side. Not that it would make a difference with the looseness, but it's just strange. I'll have to fix that at some point, but I'm not going to do it now because I'll probably need a hair dryer in order to heat up the joints enough to pop it out of there easily. So disappointing Gwildor's legs, but he looks good in every other aspect. Like his face sculpt's really nice. I like that face sculpt. Right, so accessory-wise, Gwildor comes, of course, with the Cosmic Key. If you've seen the Masters of the Universe movie, you know exactly what this thing is and what it does. So this doesn't move or anything like that. It's just a solid piece of plastic with another solid piece of plastic on top of it. These are kind of rubbery though, but it's just red plastic there and like some like grayish silver or whatever plastic on the bottom here and in the middle, and then that kind of darker gray in the middle there. And got a handle that he can put in his hand, and he can use it as a club, bash people over the head with it. I'm pretty sure that's not what he used the Cosmic Key for in the show or in the movie, but you can use it as a mace if you want. He also comes with this staff, which is all plastic, kind of, come on, focus, brown wood type deal, gnarled wood, and at the tip you can see this little crystal, which is just a clear plastic, basically just a piece of clear plastic. So yeah, he also comes with this. You can stick that in his other hand. And lastly, he comes with He-Man's Power Sword. And it looks like he's in the middle of upgrading it, because that's part of the plot of the Revolution series. He upgrades He-Man's sword. I won't tell you why. You can watch the show to find out. But yeah, he does do that. He does upgrade the sword. So that's kind of a cool looking sword there. It's got the paint around the hilt and the pommel, and it's got the brown wrappings, and then you can see the silver blade, and it's even got those little tiny points of paint right in those little holes. It's just kind of cool. And then it has that kind of glowing effect, looks like it's being hammered on an anvil. And then on this side, it looks like it might have gotten some paint slop on the bottom there. Definitely got some paint slop there. So yeah, this is all like a, this is like solid plastic, but then over here is more of a translucent kind of plastic. So that's kind of cool. Let's see if he'll stand. Yep, he can still stand. So loose legs or not, he can still stand. That's a good thing. So there you got Orko and Gwildor. A nice addition to the Masterverse collection. Hopefully, if you pick these up, your Gwildor's legs won't be as loose as mine. Maybe hopefully that's just a defect on this particular set and not in the whole run. But otherwise, pretty decent set. Definitely worth picking up, even if you already have the Orko from the Savage He-Man 2-pack, which I also have that one. This is a good update, repaint. It's basically a repaint, but because of how the show goes, it makes sense. So it's good to have Orko in his more powerful form, his final form, if you will. And yeah, it's a pretty decent set. I would probably wait for it to go on sale if I were you, because I'm pretty sure it will. Most of the Masterverse stuff does. Very few of the figures actually sell out. Most of them end up in clearance. And this set probably will too. I can't imagine Orko and Gwildor selling out. Even if people want Gwildor, it probably still won't sell out. Probably won't be as popular. Also because it's Revolution branded, so that might throw people off. That might turn people off of it as well. Because there's a lot of people that don't like the show and don't buy anything associated with it. So you could probably wait and get it for clearance later, somewhere down the line. But I would definitely pick it up at some point. If you want to wait, you can do that. Play the waiting game, get it cheaper. It's still a good set, as long as you don't have any quality control problems, like I did with my Gwildor's legs. Everything else is good, though. I like the accessories. I just like the Gwildor figure. I think he's colorful and looks good for a Gwildor figure. So comment down below, like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.